Welcome back. In July this year, 20-year-old Andy Casey sustained a brain injury during a fight in a pub after being punched in the head. A week later, doctors diagnosed Andy as brain dead, with the hospital asking a judge if they could turn off his life support. The High Court ruled in favour of the trust, but more than a month on, Andy is still ventilated and his family wants a second medical opinion. They argue that he is still responding to their voices. Have a look at this.
Andy, thumbs up again, Andy.
That's it, Anne. Well done.
Well done.
Wow. Gosh, but in a written ruling, the judge said, whilst I understand fully the conclusions that the family and friends of Mr. Casey have in their sorrow drawn from his movements and apparent responses to the ventilator, having regard to the totality of evidence before the court, I am also satisfied that what the family are seeing are in fact well-recognised base reflexes that can survive brain stem death. And a spokesperson for St George's Hospital said today, our hearts go out to Mr. Casey's family at this incredibly difficult and upsetting time, and we will continue to do all that we can to support them. Well, joining me now in the studio is Andy's sister, Christine Casey. Thank you so much for coming, Christine, along with Jay Patel, who appeared on the show yesterday and who has founded the charity Patients' Lives Matter. Let's start with you, Christine. First of all, my heart goes out to you and all the family. I'm so sorry. And you must still be in great shock because this was quite recently, just in July.
Yeah.
And so you obviously, all of you, I know there are, is it 5 siblings?
Yeah.
You're all obviously visiting the whole time and around the bed, and you're convinced that Andy's brain is still receptive.
It is, it must be, it definitely is. He's responding to us when we're asking him to do things, like the thumb, as you see. His head, we've asked him to move left to right, he moves it left to right. I mean, what more evidence do you need?
And so tell me what you have asked the hospital and what you are wanting and hoping for.
I just want more time for Andy. That's all, literally. I just want more time. Like a couple of years, like 10 years ago, they would have been said, they said that they would rather keep the machines on. And now they've changed it to they need to turn the machines off. I just don't understand.
And when you have said to the consultant and the specialists and the nurses and everybody else, look, this is our brother, he's only 20, you know, we think he can hear and respond to us. Please don't turn the machines off yet. What do they say?
They just say that we're very sorry, but Andy is brainstem dead. And we're telling them it's impossible if he's doing the things he's doing. And they just always say that it's reflexes. Andy's triggering the ventilator. You can see it. I have video evidence of lungs appearing, the white line that should, and they still are just saying no.
And have you asked, have you said, we would like another neurosurgeon, we would like another consultant neurologist to come, please, from a different hospital or even a different country?
We want a private one, yeah. We've asked for a private one, but the judge ruled that we weren't allowed the second opinion.
You're not allowed anyone to take someone to see him or
They
anything?
said no.
Gosh, and let me ask you how common that is or how unusual that is.
Well, I mean, the second opinion, I don't get. I think Obi's entitled to it. But I think the real thing here is that the tests that they're using are flawed. In the US, they're not reliable, proven. The UK judge has said they can't be relied upon. People that they've called brainstem dead are now living and walking, once playing football. So I think the whole thing just doesn't make any sense. And the movements, you showed him just move one movement, but the video I have is him moving 5 consecutive times. He's moved his thumb each time they've asked. Within a number of seconds, he's moved his thumb. It can't be reflex. It cannot be. He must be listening to what's being said, moving his thumb to happen 5 consecutive times.
I mean, the situation obviously is I'm not a doctor,
No.
And you're not either,
No,
are
I'm
you?
not,
and
no,
neither
no.
are you.
Yeah.
So I don't suppose we know. Of course, we don't know.
No.
I wish I could, you know, give you a kind of medical view, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can only give you a layperson's view. And obviously, when you say, Andy, move your thumb, and he moves his thumb, it sounds like he can hear you and he can respond, and he's doing what you've suggested he do. But in court, the judge said that this was sort of commensurate with a reflex, and I suppose what they're saying is that people who are brainstem dead will still somehow do that, although it seems unfathomable to a layperson.
Yeah.
But we're not doctors.
He shouldn't be doing what he's doing if he's brainstem dead. And the test is so unreliable. 40% of patients, they misdiagnose.
So what is your What are your possible courses of action now?
Well,
What
right
can you
now
do?
we're waiting to see if we've been accepted to appeal, and that will be tomorrow, the 27th. We'll be at court.
And do you feel that this is kind of unkind and hasty? You know, that it should all take longer?
I just think that we're going through enough as it is. Why do we have to be dragged to court? Why can he not just be given time, considering with what he's doing?
And when you have said that, what do they say?
They just say that they don't really have an explanation for that. It's just they've diagnosed him, and since they diagnosed him, to them, he has been dead.
And the tragedy is that if there's been 10 years earlier, the National Health Service philosophy at that point would have been give him a lot more time. Don't turn the machines off early. This test that they're using seems to be the definitive to go ahead and switch machines off. But as I said, it's flawed, and it's been shown to be flawed. And when you do see movements, even though we're not medically trained, from what I understand,
Yes.
that does indicate that he has a brain that's not dead.
And all you have open to you is this possibility of an appeal. And
Yeah.
if it's shut down, nothing.
I don't think there's anything more that we can really do, yeah.
Gosh, that must be absolutely devastating. I mean, whether you're right or whether you're wrong, it's still devastating.
Someone's
isn't
had
it?
the test done 5 times
Yeah.
to him, and he failed it 5 times. And then he was due to have his organs removed, and luckily his sister found him breathing, and then they had to quickly put him back on the ventilator. And he's now playing football, he's got a job.
This is someone you actually know.
Yeah, and luckily enough, they didn't remove his organs.
Oh,
Because
for goodness sake. Listen, I feel for you enormously. It's absolutely dreadful for the whole family. And thank you very much indeed for coming in. And I obviously will anxiously await the outcome. Thank you very much, Christine.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, a COVID